Hello! I'm Daphne Brogdon and I'm here on FoodTokTV and I'm playing my favorite song, More Than a Woman by the Bee Gees. Alexa, turn down, but not completely go away. I'm so excited to be making my debut here. For those of you who don't know me, Alexa, turn down. I was the host of my own show, Daphne Dishes, on the Food Network. And swipe left if you, okay, sorry, TikTok was sending me some memo. All right, I'm the host of Daphne Dishes on Food Network, and then I have a YouTube channel, Daphne Dishes Again. Been doing some stuff on TikTok, not that much cooking, and then FoodTokTV was like, wait a minute, we know you, come and cook with us. And I'm like, all right, and it's been awesome. I love getting to know all the creators here. There's so many good cooks and so many different expertise and so forth. So for those also you don't know, I'm in Los Angeles. And so this dish is going to be somewhat influenced by the natural disaster that we've had. Fortunately, my neighborhood, we're safe, but I had a neighbor who was rattled enough because even if you're disaster adjacent like I am, everybody was really on edge this last week. And so she fled to get out of town for a little R&R. And then, oh, wait a minute. I need to get somebody in here. Hang on. I got a mustard queen here. Woo! Oh, there it goes in that box. Taylor, you there?
I am here. Oh man, I hate when this happens, how it does this. I'm trying to figure out how to
What did I do?
fix it.
Oh, it's funny how the volume thing works.
Yes.
Oh,
Here, hold on.
right. Taylor.
I'm gonna leave. Hold on.
Okay, how do I get out of this box? Sorry, stand by. Technical difficulties. Interesting. Gosh, I can't remember how I get out of this box. Taylor? Wait, what happened to her? Okay, well, Taylor, aka Mustard Queen, who is a veteran Food Talk TV personality, she's going to be co-hosting with me, but I just need her to come back on. So anyway, okay, she's restarting. So what I was saying is, so since my friend had to flee, she gave me a bunch of produce. She didn't have to flee. She wanted to flee. So I kind of changed my menu today based on that because I didn't, I hate to waste food, as I'm sure you all do too. Because I'm a mom, I'm a widow with 2 teens, and you gotta make everything count. So here we are. Okay, I'm out of the box. Yay! So I'm gonna start with something that has been my most favorite, one of my most popular videos on TikTok, the most popular food video I've done, which is my lemon ricotta dip. And I wanted to choose this also because we've got the Super Bowl coming up, and I figured, people are going to have people over to watch the game and what have you, and it's nice to have. So very popular appetizer. People are like animals when I serve this. Hi, Taylor. I can see you now, hon.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was just saying how I'm going to start with my lemon ricotta dip.
Yes, and that is a personal favorite of yours. I know that.
Well, I mean, it's just such a crowd pleaser. I mean, I love to do potlucks. I do fundraisers, and stuff for my kids' school. And when we do this one, it's huge. Oh, somebody joined the team. Great. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to make you can make a bigger quantity if you want. But since I'm not having a party, I'm just going to be, a few of my family members. I'm going to just do about a half cup of ricotta. Normally with a party, I would double that. And then I would do about half that amount of either half and half or cream. And I'm going to see if you're vegan. I've got a couple different setups here, but
Oh, there we go.
this counter is a little more shallow.
That window lighting is just so beautiful.
Well, it's so funny you should say this because when I did my Food Network show, we shot in this kitchen because I wasn't stupid. I wanted the location fee, but they always put a gel over the window because you're backlit. And then I also had a set decorator who would move my microwave and put a collection of pristine cookbooks. It looked totally not like how it normally looks at all. Okay, so super important with this is the lemon zest. And lemon zest is such a workhorse in the kitchen because it provides so much flavor. And I've got a variety of
You're already using the lemon.
Exactly. It's like chefs who know how to cook every part of the animal. Don't let anything go to waste. So try to get as much of that lemon zest as you can. It really makes a huge, huge difference. And what's nice about this recipe, it's also really good if you ever have any last minute guests, or if you're like me at like 5 o'clock when somebody goes, "You're coming over to our thing at 6," and you go, "Oh shucks, I got to bring something." You can easily kind of put this together. So we've got the lemon zest, and now I've got it. Oh, I left my knife over here.
Hey Babs, y'all, welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here and tapping the screen. Today is Daphne Brogdon. This is her first show on FoodTokTV. Welcome her in for Daphne Dishes Again.
Thank
and
you.
I've never heard anyone else, or I've never heard anyone pronounce it ricotta. Have I been saying it wrong this whole time?
Ricotta. I don't know. I get heck no matter how I say it. I always get people who thank you for the welcome, Babs. I always get people who tell me I'm saying it wrong. So I've given up. Like my kids make fun of me how I say Chipotle, and I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
That's one thing about being over 50. You're like, I am who I am.
I have that problem because I learn mostly from reading stuff. And so when I'm reading a word out loud for the first time, yeah, I've gotten in a bunch of those uncomfortable situations.
Let me think about this, because I'm actually engaged to a bona fide Italian, like not American Italian, Italian. Ricotta. No, ricotta. He says ricotta. What did I say?
You've been saying ricotta.
Yeah, ricotta. That's what he says. Yeah.
Okay.
So I squeezed a lemon. All right. And then I'm also going to put some Parmesan, because why not? Although I have to say, this is some TJ Parmesan. It's not as soft as some of them. If this is like shredded, it really should be more the grated kind. I think the grated is better. But this is what I have. Okay, this is going to make a bit of a noise for a minute. So talk amongst yourself.
Whenever I talk, whenever a blender is going, sometimes it will redirect the sound of me rather than listening to loud and clean. So I am just talking and seeing if the right now is coming up a lemon ricotta dip. There's lemon zest, there's lemon juice, we got ricotta. We have learned it's called ricotta. Yes, Babs, I say it the other way too. I always say ricotta, but she's just blending this up. Perfect little appetizer going on here.
Woo. Yes. So now I'm putting it in just like a little ramekin. You can also, when you do a bigger quantity, what I do is I put it in an iron skillet, make it all together in an iron skillet, and then cook it that way, because that also makes a nice presentation for company.
Cast iron dishes do make really great presentations.
Yes.
Actually, a bunch of my cast irons I own have been because I worked in restaurants that tried it for a presentation and then took it off the menu because the upkeep was too much.
Oh, really? I never found
Yeah, I have 3 different cast irons. I call them my rescues.
Your rescues. No, it's great to get. It kind of goes with that sort of restaurant with the reclaimed wood, right? The rustic, the brass features. Yes. This is not looking as pretty as I like it, but I didn't. Here, I just gotta sort of clean the edges here. And then I've already preheated my oven. And if you're a busy mom on the go like I am, and you're not, when you come home from work or time to cook dinner, before I even figure out what I'm going to make, I just turn on the oven just in case. Even if later I go, no, I'm just doing a stovetop thing. But okay, so that's
people are complaining there isn't dinner on the table if there's an appetizer.
Yeah, well, there's that too. So anyway, I'm just going to pop this. I'm just going to pop this in the oven, and we'll get on to our other things. And I have a second appetizer, although it doesn't have to be. So this is going in at 350. Alexa, 20-minute timer. So the other thing I wanted to do, and Taylor, you just jump in and tell me what I'm not saying that I should be saying. And for those just joining me, remember my name. Think of the beautiful but dumb one in Scooby-Doo, Daphne. That's how I always say people to remember my name. Not the smart one, not Thelma. Oh gosh, I can't hear you. You didn't.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, you were moving, so I thought. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to action photo here. So I've got my puff pastry, and I already cut it. And I like to there's a brand I can actually get at Smart and Final that comes already in a big sheet. I don't love the puff pastries when they are folded, because then when you unfold them, sometimes they they break, and then you got to do a little triage with your pastry.
Right. And the whole point of the puff pastry is that it's been laminated and worked on with those bits of butter in there. So like all the folding and cracking, it just.
Yeah, laminated. Good word. Good pastry word. You got some big pastry thread there too. A laminator is a big deal. So for those of you who don't know, also I owned restaurants with my late husband, who was a professional chef, and he also started La Brea Bakery, which is pretty famous. He sold it many years ago, and really kind of ushered in a lot of that artisanal bread that we've come to expect now in markets. But back in the 80s when he started, it was a big deal. But we would go to we would visit sometimes people's bakeries, and he would size up pastry equipment the way other men size up sports cars. Like he'd be like, "Oh, look at that laminator."
Oh, laminator, yeah. Is there any way we can get a better view of like what you're doing for the food?
Yeah. I've got another one over here. Here, I wonder if we can do. My tripod that I love, which angled, broke. So I've been trying.
Every time I fall in love with the tripod, it breaks.
I know, right? Of course.
So my goal is, or the way I have successfully kept a tripod for so long, is that I don't like mine very much. So it hasn't broken. But every single other one I've loved does that. So Babs is here in the comments. She is one of our regulars on FoodTokTV.
Okay.
She wanted me to tell you what she does, because we call her the official timer. So whenever she's on, you can just be like, "Hey, Babs, set a timer."
No way.
She'll do that for you.
That is a great skill. Okay, can you see it a little better here now?
Yes, love it.
All right.
So rolling out the puff pastry. I love having puff pastry in my freezer and fridge for just so many things.
It's a pantry staple. It's a really good thing to have on hand. It's also really good when you're trying to repurpose leftovers. You're like, "Oh, I made all of that ground beef, blah, 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 the other day. What am I going to do? Well, what if I put it on puff pastry?" I mean, put anything on a crust. People love it, you know?
Right.
So I've got a half pan, because again, I don't think I'm actually going to be feeding that many people. So I'm going to make it. And because there's already so much butter in this, you don't need to butter it. And I'm not going to blind bake it either. So I'm making my sort of simple version of a tomato tarte tartin. And that's because, as I was saying before you got here, one of my friends, one of my neighbors, got out of town because she couldn't handle the stress of worrying about the fires and do we get an evacuation order or not or whatever. So she's like, "You got the keys to my house and I left you a bunch of produce. I'm out of here." And I'm like, "All right." So I thought I will use it. Now, so I've got some vine ripened tomatoes, and I think maybe I'll do, no or not, but don't put them in the fridge. It makes me crazy because I have this ongoing argument with my boyfriend where he puts them in the fridge and I'm like, they're going to get mealy. Don't
They really do. And I've worked in so many restaurants where they do store them in the refrigerator.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if it's a space thing.
you need to do it for space or for, to keep them away from vermin or something. But if you can't, because, I mean, listen, if you've grown them in your backyard, you just got them from a farmer's market, they're probably delicious and wonderful. But the problem is most of the tomatoes we all buy are picked before they're ripe. So they really need warmth to get ripe. And so if you, an unripened tomato in the fridge, it's just never going to have much flavor. So I'm just slicing these.
And I know you're in LA, but I know this time of year too, for us, like we need all the flavors from tomatoes that we can get.
Yep.
With real tomatoes.
Yep, I hear that for sure. Yeah, sometimes when I've made this, speaking of that, just to make it a little different flavor profile, I'll chop up some sun-dried tomatoes.
Ooh, I love the flavor of sun-dried tomatoes, yes.
Yeah, it was funny. So we had a friend of my boyfriend stayed with us this past summer, who's a serious Italian chef. And so I loved it when he would compliment my ingredients. And so like, I have a garden. He's like, "Oh, your basil's so good. It's as good as the basil in Italy." And I'm like, "Yay." And then he loved my Costco jar of sun-dried tomatoes. He goes, "These are great sun-dried tomatoes." I'm like, "They're from Costco." So you never know.
Bevy says that they've seen you on Food Network and have always loved your wit.
Oh, how sweet. Who said that?
Name is Bevy. And y'all, you can follow her. She'll be on Food Talk TV Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central now, but she has her own channel. I will go ahead and type that in the comments section.
Oh,
You
thank
can
you.
find her on the long form video place.
Thank you so much. All right.
So Daphne Dishes Again, and she's all over social media.
I am, and if there's a band, I'm also on YouTube. So Daphne Dishes.
Yes.
I'm on Instagram too, although I never say. I swear I post on Instagram and I get less followers. I don't know what it is. It seems to be. Oh, my Gruyere. All right. Well, I won't bother. Normally I would put Gruyere, but I'm going to just sprinkle this with some of this Parmesan.
Gotta use what you have.
Yeah, and then I think so. What this dish with a nice green salad is a lovely little lunch. Okay, but what I'm thinking about again is we've got game day coming up, and it makes a nice addition to a party because then you just cut it up. So I'm just
Something a bit fresher than the typical party foods.
yeah, I just don't want it because I don't want that super heavy food. I'm still trying to lose the weight from when the Italian chef came to visit us. I think I put on 8 pounds when he was here. There's a lot of pasta late at night, but it was so good. All right.
Hey, Stephen, what is it that you're making right now?
I'm making a tomato tarte tartin. So it's puff pastry, a sprinkling of cheese of your choice. Okay, and this I usually do Gruyere, but I have Parmesan right now. And then I'm just slicing my tomatoes thin and putting them on the pan, on the puff pastry here.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm going to drizzle with some extra virgin olive oil. All
And
right.
she's already thrown a lemon ricotta dip into the oven. So we are cooking.
I have. One more refugee ingredient I have. I gotta get.
Oh, yeah. And Kaz is in the house along with Jeanette. Hello there. Welcome to Food Talk TV. So be sure to tap and share the live as well.
Tap the screen. We've got a reward goal too. I don't want to look like I'm the least popular person that's ever come on Food Talk TV. So please.
Hey, no, that is my title.
So anyway. No, it's not possible. So this basil, I wish I had smell-o-vision. This basil smells so good. So I do have some basil in my garden still, even though, winter gardens don't look so great. Cass, thank you so much.
Thank you for the 20.
It's been surging. And then just a little, I should use this in the 10-second kitchen. What do you guys do? The pence?
10-second cooking school.
Yeah, 10-second cooking school. Which is, if you have a basil plant and if it's surging and where you get the flowers, take that and put it in a jar with olive oil, and then you have a nice infused olive oil to cook with.
Oh, are you talking about like the buds as it's starting to grow?
Yeah.
I chop those off all the time whenever I'm growing basil to help encourage it to grow. And
right, you want
that's
it, but
genius.
Put them in a jar with olive oil. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm definitely doing that.
I have to give credit to the Italian chef who was staying with us. He's the one who told it to me. I was out there taking the buds away, and he was like, "No, you use." And I'm like, "All right, okay." So right now, I'm just going to put a little bit of this basil. I've also done this. Oh, Jimmy crack corn! I just realized what I forgot. I forgot with my lemon ricotta thyme.
I know.
I knew there was no. Okay, so for those who were paying attention, and if you find the recipe will be on Food Talk TV, you also want to take some time into the lemon ricotta dip. That's another beat. Because I'm really big on what I call the 3 beats of cooking, because my background was comedy before I was cooking. And in comedy, there's 3 beats. And then when you taste food, you want to taste it first here, then there's the palate, and then there's the last. And when you have some crap, like processed cheese, it's 1 beat. There's nothing there. There's no, So when something's good, it's layered with flavor. So that's why I would put. Because I have a lot of it from the fire refugees. They gave me all that.
Did you put the mustard on, by the way? Underneath the tomatoes?
No, I didn't. You know what? I know. It's in the recipe. It's in the recipe, but I gotta be honest, I'm a little mustard averse. So I think it wasn't in my I know, I'm sorry.
Well, we
I'm
have not had this
sorry.
conversation yet.
I know. You know what I would do if I wasn't on live TV right now? I would take some mustard and blend it with a little bit of cream and drizzle it on right now to have that mustard flavor. But I think it's too late now because
Oh yeah.
I've already layered it. It's going to be another thing. But I know that is a classic. That's the classic recipe for a French tomato tart is you want to have and Dijon, and I only have stone ground, but ideally you would do Dijon. So I'm going to put this in the oven now. So Babs, I'm putting this in the oven now.
What timer? 20-minute?
That's going to be probably more like 30.
Okay.
I
So
think.
Babs, we have a 30-minute timer.
Yeah.
We'll confirm. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I've got a whole other setup that I'm going to here. I've got a brand new tripod. I'm very excited to try this tripod out.
Don't fall in love with your tripod too much.
Well, I'll tell you why I don't love this one. I can't do the, see, it won't, the one that broke was like, when I was ordering them a new one, it didn't, I kept looking for like, I don't even know how it would say, like, this is a kind that slowly can angle, or, I don't know, I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Babs. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
And Kaz was joking and said, shortest Food Talk TV career ever.
Oh, about which one? Which part?
Well, I think mustard? It was you skipping mustard.
Oh, the skipping mustard. Oh, very funny. Yeah, get the hook.
It just goes to show how versatile of a recipe that is. Where like if you're not a mustard,
well, it is. Listen, once you got puff pastry, you can't go wrong. All cultures have things in crust. You think about it, like empanadas, pierogies. You know, people just love the thing in a crust.
Yes. What's up, Sean? Welcome in.
What's up, Sean? Okay, because I aforementioned hate to waste food, before I even tackle cutting a new onion, I'm going to get rid of my little onion remnant. And then...
Is there a way we can angle the phone a bit more so we see you and food?
I know. See, that's what's the problem with this new tripod.
Oh, yeah, no,
what I do is, I'll tell you what I do here. Hang on.
And y'all, thank you so much for tapping those screens. I see you're busy.
Yes. Thank you.
And if you're having a good time with us, surely your friends will too. So be sure to share it with friends and family. I should do that now.
Yes. And I should be seeing if there's...
And if you don't have friends, you can share it to me. It's okay. I'll be your friend.
So this is why, you know, it was such a leap for me. You know, I was so sad when my show didn't get the third season, and I didn't know what to do for a while. And you know, some people were like, well, "Why don't you know, make the content online?" And my teenagers were like, "Yeah, Mom, nobody cares about production value." I was like, "I care about production value." So anyway, I did it, and it's been great. But I did get spoiled with Food Network, where you'd have like, I'd have a food producer, and I've got the, you know, 3 cameras and the lighting people, and as you know, Taylor, it's like you're cooking and you're making sure the lights, and you're your own.
It's so weird just being a one-person crew.
Right, the one-man band.
One-man band, yes.
Taylor, where do you live? I can't remember.
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, Nashville. Oh, nice. I have some good friends in Nashville.
I'm born and raised here, one of the few people.
Oh, that's great. That's like me in Los Angeles, you know? Like,
oh, okay.
Everybody's from LA, and I'm like, I am. I know what you're talking about. Okay, so got a nice all-clad here. Just gonna start warming that up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do now is, this is my most favorite dish that I make for my kids. I mean, so many things, you know, I'll make, they'll like it, and then at one point they're like, we're done. They've never said this about this dish. So this is what I call my crowd-pleasing couscous. And I did it on my show. I've done it as a guest when I do cooking classes, and it's really delicious, and it goes with anything. Today I'm going to make it with shrimp. It could be a vegan entree, vegetarian entree, and it could also be a great side dish. Are my chickens behaving? I'm glad you asked. They're a little better. I had to shoo them off my deck. If I left the door open, though, they would probably come in. For those of you who don't know, I was co-hosting with October
Dragonfly, Christine.
Dragonfly. Yeah, I think Christine. Yeah, and it was pretty hilarious. It's on my feed. The chickens came in, and it was like Benny Hill, like a darn 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 darn. I'm gonna go grab the chickens.
That is so funny.
So I'm going to give you a little food history lesson. So what this is called, there's couscous. I'm not making couscous. I'm making what usually was called Israeli couscous, but more and more I've seen that it's called pearl couscous. It's the same thing, whether it's called Israeli couscous or pearl couscous. But the history of it is that when Israel was being formed in the late 40s, David Ben-Gurion, who was the prime minister at the time, that they didn't have enough rice. And so he asked people, like, what can we do to supplement the rice? But they had wheat. So they came up with Israeli couscous, and in other cultures it's called other things. But it's because it sort of mimics that more like it's bigger than regular couscous, but it's not as big as pasta. But I like it because, again, as we talked about how in cooking you want the 3 different dimensions, the 3 different flavors. And, of course, one way that you taste is by texture. So I think this has a really great texture. So what we're going to do is, and the other thing when I came up with this idea for this recipe was when my kids were younger and it was so hard to get them to eat good food. And I thought, hey, what if I put something sweet in it? So what I do is I chop up dried apricots and onion and saute it. And the great thing about, again, this, for me, it's a pantry staple because I have these on hand to put in their school lunch, and then it can also be incorporated into a recipe like this.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So I've chopped about a half an onion, and now I'm going to chop up some apricots.
And now this recipe is already up on FoodTokTV.com.
That's right.
Crowd-pleasing couscous.
Yeah. Because it truly is crowd pleasing. I mean, I never have leftovers of this. Never.
Yeah, I was even looking at the recipe comments because this was something that was originally on Food Network. That was still your recipe, but it was originally on there. But even the recipes from there, people saying that they feed it to their kids all the time. And
I love that.
Hey, I'm like, oh,
I'm happy. I'm glad they kept it. Okay, so I've got the pan
recipe
going.
has been tested.
It's been tested, yeah.
Yes.
As you know, I mean, with my YouTube channel, sometimes when I'm doing new stuff, sometimes I'm like, well, I'm cooking it as I'm making it. I've never made it before, but all of these I've made before.
Oh, there's so many times where I'm not necessarily making something for the first time, but I'm doing a version of it that I hadn't made before. And I always choose Food Talk TV for that.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Because, sometimes, and also as we used to say in improv, sometimes a mistake is a gift.
Yeah.
At my husband's bakery, they had this cookie. It was a very, very thin cookie that was super popular. And he said it was a total mistake that somebody messed up and just didn't put as much flour as they were supposed to be. But everybody loved it, so they kept it on the menu. Okay, so
Debbie wants to know, what kind of pans do you like to cook with?
Well, I'm a big fan of cast iron in general. I mean, certainly for all my meats, I use cast iron. For a dish like this, I do a steel. And obviously, if you want to do that, you can't do that with a cast iron. So, at least I can't. I'm not strong enough. So maybe that's a goal. So onions and apricot in the olive oil. So I would say mostly steel alclads, and then the Lodge iron pans are the ones that I.
My husband and I got married 7 years ago and had stainless steel pans on our registry, and we still use them. Same exact ones.
Oh, you'll use them your whole life. My mom has an iron pan that we love. Oh, thank you, Alexa. Stop.
Ricotta.
Fab, will you remind me? Just give me 5 more minutes with that, and then I'll check it again. Anyway, there's an iron pan, and I'm like, Mom, when did you get this? She's like, oh, your dad had it when I met him. So it's from the 50s. My dad is dead, and we're still using that.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. Really are heirlooms.
Okay, so this is just going to soften up here.
Trini Cooks is in the house. Hello there. She has her show. She also goes live on her own page as well, another Food Talk TV creator. So be sure you're giving her a follow as well. And tune in Thursdays at 7.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Love her.
So now I'm using, this is Bob's Red Mill Tricolor Pearl Couscous. So I'm going to put about a cup of that in. Again, if it was dinner time, I would make more because it goes.
So is this kind of like a rice preparation, like you're sauteing everything to toast it and then okay.
Kind of like rice-a-roni. If you ever made that, my kids used to love rice-a-roni. This is like an upscale rice-a-roni.
Okay, that's good. Because I figured this preparation either had to be like rice or like risotto, so I'm glad this is more rice. I don't do a lot.
Much easier than risotto. We don't have to stand and stir it for the next half hour. Yes, tap the screen, everyone. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. So what I want to do is I want to get it a little toasty, and then I'm going to add broth. Now, in my recipe that's on Food Talk TV, you use beef broth. Today I have chicken broth. I find they're both good. And it doesn't matter if it's a yellow onion or a red onion. The recipe says red onion. Don't worry. Either one is fine.
I'm very much so a use what you have household.
100%. 100%. I'm always trying to swap out stuff like that.
And it's so funny whenever I'm writing these kinds of recipes and it's like, this is optional. And it's like, well, the whole recipe's optional.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, and I think because you have cooking acumen, so you can do that. And one of my big slogans I always say in my cooking videos is, "Hi, friend," is don't be afraid to cook. And I don't want people to look at a recipe and be like, "Oh, but I don't have creme fraiche." Okay, use sour cream. Just try to figure out something else. It's still going to be better for you and cheaper than going and buying something or getting some food delivered or whatever. Okay, so I'm starting to get a little brown here. So now I'm going to put in, and kind of like with rice, you're roughly doing double the amount of liquid of the grain that you're using.
Y'all, thank you so much for being here and tapping the screens and sharing. We got 7 shares, 7.8K likes. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. This is
and now we're just going to put a lid on it. Let it simmer for a while till it evaporates, and then actually I'll put it on the back burner.
Oh, we got both.
I saw something. It was going around social media a while ago, and it's so true. Like, you're a certain age if you have a favorite burner. Yes. And the lower left is my baby.
The lower left is mine too. I think I will just see some that burner goes out.
So here's my. Thank you so much. Is that Julie? Julia. So here's one of my old lodges, which could also be a weapon.
It really can.
I'm loving my Food Talk TV apron. Thank you, friend.
I have, I don't have a range like yours. I just have an electric stovetop, and it does kind of have that like almost glass topping over it. And so people get upset with me whenever I cook cast iron on mine. And I was always afraid to like tap it too much until I saw a video of someone in a junkyard with an old stove, and they were just throwing the cast iron at it, and it broke the handle off the cast iron before it broke the stove.
Oh, wow. No, I don't know why people get uptight about cast iron. They're easy. There's no maintenance at all. It's fine.
I guess it's because so many people have their own opinions about it.
Yeah.
It's a great way to start a fight.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, gosh. Here's the other.
Just go to an internet forum where people are obsessed with their cast irons. You can start a fight.
I heard an interview with a guy who's got some whole successful website, and all he does is talk about cast iron pans. And I was like, is there that much content to that? I didn't know. All right,
so we're talking to someone who makes mustard their platform, okay?
Okay, fair enough. I think I told you this. My late husband loved mustard and peanut butter. He used to say they were both like his sort of. He goes, they were my white trash guilty pleasures, is what he used to call them. So.
I love that.
Yeah. All right, so I got some shrimp now.
Is in here. Hello.
Always raw shrimp. Don't buy cooked shrimp. Don't buy cooked shrimp. You buy cooked shrimp, you cook cooked shrimp, and you've got styrofoam. So do try to get the raw shrimp. It could be frozen. That's okay, but get raw. Yes. All right. There we go. So also what I loved about the couscous thing is that because, oh, there's my light. With the couscous is you hardly have to season it at all because the broth already has the salt, you know, and the apricots and the onions. So it makes it very, very simple. So I'm heating this up, and I think that's about right. Yeah. So put the shrimp in there.
We have so many members of Food Talk TV in your comment section right now. This is awesome.
Oh, thanks, gang.
We got Melissa Murden in here. We got Pretty in here. We have Mr. Crown Royal. I saw Benjamin in here earlier. I don't know where he ran off to. We have me. We have you. We have Kaz. Pretty much half the team on here.
Awesome. I know, and I wish I want to see who came over from my channel because I was telling them all in my live last night to come over.
Oh, yay.
And then the only thing I'm going to put on this is just a little salt and red pepper flakes. But not too much because the couscous is going to have a lot of the salt. Also, sometimes I do garlic. I'm not feeling garlic today, though.
Yeah. Oh, so I need to ask you something that's a dividing thing on Food Talk TV. How do you feel about the jarred garlic?
Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm fine with jarred garlic.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me tell you. Where is it? Darn it.
Now here on Food Talk TV, we're a variety of creators, and most of the creators, oh, okay, that's different than like the jarred garlic.
No. I got that too. I got that too. Here we go. So this is what I call the tired mom. You know, it's 6 o'clock. I got to get dinner on the table. And I go, I'm just doing it. It's like keep in case of emergency. Now there's some dishes, no, I won't do it. And I'll peel and chop. Or if you have this, which is already peeled, which can be nice. But it's better to have the flavor and have a nice home cooked meal with jarred garlic than to order takeout or something. It's all kind of your energy level. It's just what you can do. Now, did I wait until my chef husband died before I bought it? Yes, I did. And you know what I still could never bring in the house that he would roll in his grave? Garlic powder.
Really?
Garlic? Cannot have garlic powder. The only thing you can use garlic powder for in this house is if you're doing a dry rub for a meat.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've always been on I would prefer garlic powder as opposed to the jarlic. But wow, I had not.
But this tastes more like garlic than the garlic powder. Yeah, to me, garlic powder is more of an artificial taste.
More like a seasoning.
Okay, now this is one of the. Now, in terms of, and this is where, as you know, Taylor, the rubber really meets the road with restaurant timing. How restaurants are so great at timing things. So I never worked the line except for the salads. So I was not as good at that. So ideally, I should have waited a little longer before I cooked the shrimp. But
yeah,
the shrimp does not take long. Let's see.
I feel like whenever I start something like shrimp and I'm like, this won't take long at all, that's when my stove will take a million years to preheat something.
Well, listen, I applaud you for doing what you're doing with an electric oven because if there's one thing I'm going to be going to the barricades for, it's to protect my gas oven. You know, I mean, as if those people who've lost their homes didn't get through enough. Then there's a law now in California that says any new construction, you have to have an electric oven. You can't have a gas oven. I'd be like, that would drive me out of the state because I don't want an electric oven.
So you're taking that stove range with you
to the grave.
To the grave.
Oh, Babs, did you tell me my time was up? Because I think it's up.
I think the 5-minute one was about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. So the dip is done. All right. Just imagine there's little flecks of green where the time would have been. So we'll put that over here for now.
Beautiful. That was the lemon ricotta dip.
Yes. Yes.
That recipe's up on FoodTokTV already.
Okay, now look at this. Tomato chocolate
Oh,
flan. I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to get my pizza slicer out and slice that up.
30-minute timer has 11.
What?
The 30-minute timer has 11 minutes left. That's what Bab says.
Oh, okay. Then I told you wrong, Babs, because I think it's hot enough.
Oh, no.
It's done. Okay, so
Perfect.
yeah, I think it's okay. All right. So we've got that. Now I'm going to check my couscous. Why don't you check it? Here, let's check it together.
Yeah, y'all let me know in the comments how you feel. Like, do you have electric? Do you have gas? Do you have a preference? A lot of times for my show, I end up using the induction stovetop.
Okay, that's funny you should say that, because I do have a friend who swears that she likes the induction. I only used the induction once when I was guest teaching at a high school, and it actually freaked me out because it gets hot so fast. Okay, so this is ready. All right, this is the couscous with the onions. Let me make this, stack this up a little prettier here.
Oh yeah, so many people like the gas. Some of them have electric, but everyone seems to be a fan of the gas stovetops.
It's just better.
Yeah, but with the induction cooker, it's completely different type of cooking because it starts so quickly and ends so quickly, and
Yeah.
you don't really get to take advantage of residual heat and stuff. But it works really well for content creation to use the induction, so you can move it to where the light is. You know.
Let's see here. All right. So here it is. Here's the couscous, apricot, and the crowd-pleasing couscous. A little bit of, I put a little more red pepper flakes just to add a little color.
Okay.
I definitely err on the side of a little bit healthier food, I'd say. I'd say that's one of my hallmarks. Although I don't fear fat, because sometimes fat's your friend. But
Yes.
put that there.
Oh, yes, some people have to learn to take pictures of the stuff.
Yeah, I know. I got to take pictures of it. Okay, so I have one other thing that's disaster adjacent, as I keep saying, because my friend, I told her she left town, and she left me all this produce, and I don't want things to go to waste. So she left me a bag of arugula. And I was thinking, because I know I am a big fan of preparing sauces and such before. So I love it when I come home and I'm tired, and past Daphne has thought ahead to make something to help present Daphne. And I'm always like, thanks, past Daphne. Thanks for helping me with that. And one of my favorite hacks is to make a pesto out of arugula. Because if you make a pesto out of basil, number one, it's going to cost a lot more. And basil goes south really fast. And it can get all brown and funky. Whereas a pesto made from arugula, it's actually very simple. Oops. No.
Oh, I have never tried that. I don't know why I haven't tried that, because I love arugula. I love that flavor.
Yeah. So and you kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to do, thank you, Mama T. Oh, Mama T shows later today, right?
Wednesday, buddy. So she'll be on at 6 p.m. Central tonight for her new show, Down Home Comfort. So y'all be sure.
Okay, good. Okay, that's 4 o'clock for me. All right, I can maybe go Down Home Comfort. That sounds good. So I'm going to pack this because this arugula is about to go south, and it'll just be totally.
Oh, and that's perfect for pesto because you don't care about what the leaves look like or.
Exactly. It still has that bitter, so I'm going to do a lot of olive oil. And then this is also where these kind of, when you're making pestos, I like these pre-peeled ones because you don't need, you don't have to peel, but you need a lot of cloves.
Right.
So I'm going to give this one whack to get it down, and then I'm going to have to go and get some kind of nuts. And that's the other thing. I kind of, it's really whatever nuts I have on hand. If you have pine nuts, great, which is a classic pesto, but you could use walnuts, almonds. I've used all different kinds.
So the arugula, anytime I'm ever in your box, I'm going to have to tell you these fun facts, but arugula is in the same plant family as mustard. And so that like bitter flavor that comes out through the arugula, that's the same chemical reaction that mustard does that has that like almost horseradishy kind of taste.
I was going to say, is it related to horseradish?
It is, yes. Same
I
plant
can see that. It does. It's why sometimes not all arugula salad is too much, but if it's arugula and another lettuce or arugula and artichoke, it kind of cuts it. But
yeah, but any of those recipes, I'm going to continue talking because sometimes when I talk when you're running machines, it will pick up my voice and not your machine. So I'm just going to like try to talk. You keep going. I'll talk.
okay.
Basically, what she's doing is making the arugula pesto. And as she processes it with the oil and the cheese, and then she's going to add nuts to this too. All of those very fatty things added to the bitter greens are going to help absorb some of that bitter flavor, which is going to make a great pesto.
And I have some pine nuts, which I can't believe it because I usually use pine nuts. It's very funny how tastes change. I remember when I was younger, I thought, oh, I hate pine nuts. I can't stand the flavor. And then one day I went, why did I say that? I love pine nuts.
I think they say like every 7 years. I don't know about that. But I do know as we age, we start to being more tolerant over foods.
Oh, I mean, nothing's tougher than trying to feed a 3-year-old. I always say 3-year-olds are like OCD patients. You just got to go, okay, sorry, the French fry touched the meat. Won't let it happen again.
Right.
You weirdo, you know. You just got to wait till they get older.
Oh, I know I was like that as a kid. And then as an adult, like, how was I like this?
I know. Wait a minute. The Parmesan. I didn't put the Parmesan in, did I?
Oh.
Hold for Parm.
I know I saw Parmesan in your hand. I don't know if I saw it in there.
It's been a Parm heavy.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, you definitely want Parmesan in your pesto.
Oh, yes.
So I've added more olive oil. I've added some pine nuts. And we'll see how it goes. And of course, pesto, not only going to go over pasta, I use it as a smear for sandwiches for my son's lunch. Or, you got a chicken breast. Chicken breast can be pretty boring. Throw some pesto on top of that.
And I never thought to use arugula for the pesto. That is brilliant. So sometimes I'll go through half of the arugula and then just have that bottom half that doesn't work too well for a salad. This is perfect.
Oh, yeah, exactly. All right, let me get a tasting spoon.
Thank you so much for being here on Food Talk TV. This is Daphne Brogdon. She is making an arugula pesto. I love it.
Oh, it needs salt.
Melissa Murd made me laugh with that. When I say it's a secret, it means I have no clue.
I love this little scooper thing. I got it at this little Danish shop, and it was like, it was stupid. It was probably like $10, but I was like, oh, I love it. For that, especially because when you're cooking, and you're, especially if you're working with like chicken or something and you don't want to reach in and grab. I use my little
I mean, $10, so that way every time you salt your food, you feel like a giant with a tiny shovel. Brilliant.
At least I use it. It's not like when you buy a $200 pair of pumps and you wear them, twice a year.
Right, exactly. It's actually something you're using.
I just treated myself and bought myself a new pair of heels I haven't in years. But I got like a block heel. I was like, I ain't kidding you. I'm not wearing the Stellar. It's not happening. All right, now it's good. All right.
Yay.
Oh, it's got such a tang from the arugula, horseradish, mustard. You know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, that little bit of bitterness. See, ooh, I bet you can taste
really
it a lot
tangy.
more now in arugula now that I told you that.
No, and it's really tangy. And the great thing about this too, and who was it? Melissa just did like a creamy pesto in her cooking show that I was on. You could add cream, and then you'd have another kind of different flavor if you wanted it more muted. But look how pretty that is. So what I do is years ago.
Too, that bitterness will go away and that sharpness.
Yeah. So this used to be my laundry room. And my husband and I were always like, we want a bigger kitchen, And my friend who's a contractor came over and goes, that's going to be super expensive. Why don't you just relocate your laundry and make this a butler pantry? And we were like, that's brilliant. Yeah. And that's what I did. Anyway, so I've alphabetized my spices. And then I have all my empty jars up here, so I'll put the arugula pesto. I'm a dork. This is my fermentation station. I do kefir and kombucha and stuff like that. So
I love that. I have a guest room right next to my kitchen, and I'm like, I don't really get that many guests, right?
you gotta earn it if you're gonna make me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about just a pantry with a bed in it?
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
That's a new Food Talk TV special there.
Love the butler pantry.
So again, this is going to be one of those things that future Daphne is going to be so happy that I made this.
Future Taylor's always disappointed with past Taylor for eating all this stuff.
Well, it's so funny because now that my son's a teenager, you know how they eat, and I came back, I'm like, who ate all the mozzarella? And I have to go, okay, that's right, he needs to eat 15 times a day now. I've got to be forgiving. But look at that. That could even put a ribbon on there. That could be a host present, huh?
Beautiful.
There you go. So
it's us two. We don't have any kids or anything, and it's just us two living in this house. So whenever we want to blame it on somebody else, we have an imaginary roommate. So if there was cheese missing or something like that, it'd be like, oh, Bart.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, blame it on the imaginary roommate. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. This is Butters, by the way.
Hey,
no
Butters!
Today, but
Montequilla.
Yeah. He's a, or we call piccolo caniniero.
Butters, is that a South Park reference?
Well, it is by accident. My kids, we were trying to adopt a dog, and one that we tried to adopt was called Butters, and by the time we got there, he'd been adopted. And then we found this other dog, and we're like, and his name was Lasorda, like Tommy Lasorda, the old Dodger manager. And even though I'm a Dodger fan, it was not a good name. So my kids were like, well, we could just keep calling him Butters. And I was like, but he's so clearly a Walter. Like, to me, he should be Walter. They're like, no, Butters. But they didn't know it had anything to do with South Park. But there you go. So he's Butters. But I think he's a Walter. I really do. All right. So I want to show you guys the shots of everything we have here.
Yes.
Okay. So here we go. So we've got the...
And Bob said that was your 30-minute timer. And it's like, oh, well, we're done. From earlier.
Okay. So this is shrimp with the Israeli couscous. It's crowd-pleasing couscous with the apricots and the onions. It's just made with olive oil. Very simple. Not a lot of ingredients, okay? Here's the ricotta dip, all right? Here's the tomato tartin, which also is a great side dish for something. Great could be its own meal with a salad or as an appetizer. Oh, this is my leftover bacon fat that I have running. That's not too pretty. We'll keep that away. And here's my arugula pesto. So does anybody have any questions about these?
Oh, yes. Anybody have any questions? Well, thank you very much for your show. I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about your show or what other projects you're working on right now. Because we got...
Yeah. Oh, who's coming in there with the wait, let me get this.
LB's BBQ. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me see who's... Oh, gosh. Thank you, LB. Oh, Bevy, you're so sweet. Okay, the pesto babs, it's for a rainy day, because what happened was my neighbor left town because she was freaked out about the fires. And so, what's my lighting got weird here? Anyway, she was freaked out about the fires, so she left me all this produce. And this is, I'm just showing like it's a good thing to do with arugula that's about to go south, is you can make a pesto. And I'm just going to have it on hand. It's going to be that great thing where I can use it for chicken. I can use it for pasta. I can use it as a accoutrement in a sandwich. I'm a big believer in trying to have things on hand. Nice to meet you. I enjoyed your show. Oh, thank you, Maria. Oh, fantastic. Please share the live show. Okay. Wait, I want to see if I can see if any of my, I got some sweet people in my community. Oh my God, Christy Thomas. That's my friend. She's here. How sweet. She drank my wine. I said, did I leave I think I left my bottle of wine in your house. She's like, yeah, it's drunk. It's gone. So
how long will the pesto last?
I'd give it 2 weeks. I'd say more than that, and I'd 86 it. But that's a good question, Bevy. Yeah. So you have it. And, let's see. Now, if I take, can I take a picture of this? And then because then I can cut into it. Is that possible?
Oh, okay. She paused it. She's going to take a picture of this food real quick because she needs to send me a picture of the food before she can enjoy it, of course. So y'all, thank you so much for being here and tapping those screens. She will be right back. She's just taking a picture. And so she can try it and show us. And I think that answers Kaz's question.
Which is?
Oh, he was asking, does the tartine need to set up or can it be served immediately?
I would give it a minute. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's going to be a little droopy. It's going to be a little droopy. So here, I got this. There we go. I mean, it's hard with warm puff pastry. Hard to let people wait for that.
Oh, man.
I wouldn't let it go too long. And that's that whole other timing issue we're talking about here. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Okay.
Ah, there we go. This is right up my alley. Would have been more up.
Oh, but except I forgot the mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been more up my alley with the mustard, but it's okay. I'll forgive you.
Yeah, I know. Really, that was an unpardonable sin.
In front of the mustard queen, too. Embarrassing.
No. What was I thinking?
No, there's so many people who will have conversations with me because my handle on here is ketchup is garbage. And I get so many people who I become online friends with, and then they'll have the conversation with me of, by the way, I like ketchup on my fries. And I'm like, I don't know why these people thought I was just going to break up with them over it.
You know what? So it's really delicious, but it would give another beat if it had the mustard, for sure. That would be good.
Oh, yeah.
So. Luca, you want some?
Hi, Diego. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Here's this isn't my Italian. This is my Italian's best friend, Luca, here.
Hi.
So he can attest to. What would you call a tomato tartare in Italian? Is there a name for
È
it?
una focaccia con pomodoro.
Un focaccia un pomodoro. Yeah,
Focaccia.
focaccia pomodoro. Even though it's not focaccia.
Yeah.
You want to taste it?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna get an actual human eating my food here.
An actual human.
An actual human, not one of these AIs. Come over here, Luca. Luca was just on Italian TV reporting to them about, he's like their man on the ground here in Los Angeles, talking about.
Thank you, friend Diego.
Oh, there you
You
go.
got 50% of the live
Okay,
goal.
wait, we got to see you eating it and liking it. See, show it's live on TikTok here. So, yeah.
Hello.
Now, this reminds me of when we do the grub matches when we'll have the cooking competition, but we don't have any tasting judges.
Wonderful.
A real Italian.
I don't know. Wow. The basil and everything, the taste, it's all perfect.
Oh, and he owns restaurants in Italy,
Very
so
good,
he knows.
Very good. Awesome good.
Thank you. Grazie mille. Grazie mille. Grazie mille to you, Taylor.
I don't know how. Grazie. What is it?
It's like thanks a million.
Oh, okay.
Grazie.
Okay.
I can turn off my oven now. This was so fun. It's a whole thing though, trying to figure out the timing for this.
It really is. And I knew you were going to fall into the category of not having enough stuff to do rather than going over, because it's 50-50 when people start out on Food Talk TV. Are you going to struggle to fill the hour, or are you going to struggle to keep it under 2?
Oh, yes.
And, I've been on Food Talk TV for well over a year now, and I still struggle to keep it under 2.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was stretching. So
Oh, yes.
that's why I was like, okay, I'll have the pesto up my sleeve in case I don't have enough time. Because it's too early for a cocktail. Christine said, you can always do a cocktail, but I'm like, oh, it's so early. I can't do a cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Tap, tap, tap the screens. Y'all, this was Daphne Brogdon's first show on Food Talk TV. Love the apron. You look wonderful on the apron. We're going to... Yes, Food Talk TV. All these recipes are up on Food Talk TV right now. We have the lemon ricotta dip. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it ricotta now because of you. And I'll be like, hey, my friend Daphne Brogdon has Italian chef friends.
Wait a minute. I should have a thing in here. Like, demonstrate the dip.
The demonstration.
This thing goes. And again, it should have time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so lemony. It's delicious.
It's so versatile for that. Like, you could do so many different flavor profiles with just the ricotta and lemon. I'm almost thinking like, I wonder how good it would be with lime, just to switch it up. I don't know.
Now you're talking crazy.
Little tahini sprinkle.
Absolutely. I actually did do because it was one of the, you know how it is on TikTok when a video does well. So this video did so well, it was like 70,000 views or something. So I kept trying to like chase it. I do the same music. I would do the same format. I did something like same kind of lime goat cheese. Something like just a little variation. And I'd be like 2,000. Like it was nowhere near. Nope. Can't chase it viral.
Yeah, no, it's hard to predict that because if any of us knew what we were doing, well, everyone would have the secrets.
Well, it's so fun to do the premiere of Food Talk TV on TikTok right before we may go away. Me and my timing.
Be on a TikTok right before.
Yes.
Y'all
All
be
right.
sure to follow us. You hit the bell. Tune in next week with Daphne on her show, Daphne Dishes Again.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for the encouragement. Thank you so much for the support. Yeah, it is like catching lightning in a bottle. That's for sure.
Yes.
That's for sure. Oh, thank you. Is it Rachel?
42 Rachel.
42 Rachel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Not
much.
just one Rachel, there's 42 of them.
That's crazy. Oh, and we got 125 of the goggles. That's amazing.
Yes.
That would never happen on my channel. Wow. You guys.
Definitely successful, great first show. Absolutely love it.
Wow.
Thank you so much for being here. And
Thank
so
you,
happy
guys.
to have you in the Food Talk TV family.
Okay. I'm so happy to be adopted.
All right. I don't think we have any more questions. So thank you so much. And y'all check out these recipes on the page.